Hey guys, so a while back I got this fabric like a year ago. I meant to make a simple little blanket out of it and I never did. And today I figured I'd just go through the quick process of how to make a very simple blanket. I'm not using any matting in between it. It's just going to be to the fabric. I have 1 yard of each of this with a store with the wife, pick out some fabric, and that's it. And I figured I'd try one of these little handy videos or something. First up I need to do, head over to the ironing board. Alright. Iron warmed up. I'm just going to lay it flat-ish. And I'm going to go over the whole thing. Put the iron on hot because this is cotton. I learned how to iron at a young age. My mom forced me to, because she wouldn't iron my Boy Scout uniform for me. I just saw this one. Ooh, that nice and soft. Is it cotton? I actually don't even know what it is. What does it say? It's just super snuggle. So I just finished ironing this blanket and I just got called into work, so I'm going to just fold this up and I gotta head into work. Something broke, I gotta go fix it. No big deal. We'll finish this when I return. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, I was back in ironing. And yes, I fixed the issue at work. It's currently about 3 hours later, but that is okay. But yeah, I was saying is I learned to iron when I was fairly young when I was in scouting because my mom said, "No, I'm not ironing your uniform for you. So you get to do it learn to do it yourself." Also get to learn how to sew on patches. And then later on I learned that some patches had some glue stuff on the back of them. You could just glue your patches on. You can use the iron to glue the patches on, then sew it on. Yeah, I was only allowed to do that for a few patches because I got the glue stuff on the iron itself, which did not make her very happy at all. So I got to learn how to iron and sew on buttons, and of course any young scout, so you do the minimum number of stitches. So if you saw my patches, they're like 6 stitches holding on a whole patch, and that was it. It was kind of sad looking, and of course I never matched the thread color, so it'd be like a tan bordered patch, and I used bright red stitching just because it was what I had in the kit at that moment, and I didn't care that much. So that was always fun. So I'm just going to iron this all out. Project like this, not a biggest fan of sewing, but I just couldn't resist when I saw this cool fabric, science fabric, and it's so soft and warm. And literally, only the ironing is because it's been in storage for a year, and I didn't exactly store it very well. And I don't know if you follow my wife, Bunny Bespoke, if you see her Instagram page, she sews a lot. In fact, I'm in her sewing room because I do not have a sewing room. I do have a machine in here that you will see shortly. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish ironing this up, and I will see you guys in a few minutes. Okay guys, I finally finished a Raining Bunny sewing room because I'm a monster. And I'm now got this folded up and I'm ready to pin it all together. Now I don't really need to do much pinning because I'm really just making a giant square or rectangle. I'm not sure what this is. But I also want to make sure it's all aligned perfectly, so let's do that. Okay. Now I'm going to lay these out. I'm going to want to lay them, the faces toward each other, so that way we get a nice seam at the end when it's all sewed together. If you were to put batting, you'd put the batting in the middle. I ain't doing that.
So much on.
So I wanted to be perfectly square, and I messed up by laying it. I didn't lay it correctly.
Okay.
And I already made one cut, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm just cutting it all. I'm making them all perfect. I don't know if I need to do it or not. Oh wait, was I pinning that? Alright guys, next step is you're going to pet the cat. That's a very nice and very important step, is pet the cat. Is you're going to take your scissors and just trim off all your stringy dingies. Oh, hello Luna. Alright, I went and ironed this, guys. Went and ironed this. And now the last step, one step I have left, is that seam we left open for turning out needs to be open, closed back up. So this guy, iron it nice and flat, as you can see, and we need to seal that end up. So I'm going to start up here at the corner, and I'm going to go ahead and go around the entire blanket. That way it gives it a nice little more rigidity. Now this one, I'm going to use a smaller seam allowance. That way it's just a little snugger, so I'm going to go to that inside of that screw this time. Also that way I'm not sewing right on top of another. I'm sewing on through both layers of fabric under here, so I'm actually sewing through 4 layers of fabric. So I'm going to use the same stitches per inch, same thread, so I'm using black just for my fabric. There it is. I'll show it to the camera. You can see that nice outside stitch.
It's called top stitching.
Top stitching. And I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch this whole thing, but I'm going to go to the table and mark it up first. Alright, so Bunny has lent me this magical disappearing ink after you iron it, but at this point it will show. So I went down to my garage and grabbed nice big square because I want nice perfect 45-degree angles going across this thing. There we go. And I'm just going to go across. Oh god, that doesn't stay in place. It moves. I'm not used to things moving. So I'm going to make a nice, good, strong 45. I'm going to do it a few times to make sure. And it slowly appears. I'm going to use a very long level. And I'm only going to use one width of that for all my marks. And I'm going to use it as a straight. I don't need to flip over because only one side is. And then I'm just gonna hold this down and. And I'm gonna go. Take a look at the line and do it again. So I actually, after drawing all these lines, I actually quite like that white contrast. So I decided to go with some white thread. And, but yeah, I'm gonna go take this to the machine and run white thread all the way through it. All right, got my machine set up for this pattern. I'm going to stop my machine at every single stitch. You could go around here and top stitch around your other stitch, onto your border stitch. But I don't want that look. I want that hidden edge I put in there. I'm just going to put that white thread on top. So time to just go back, doing a lot of back and forth stitching. What you've just witnessed is a buffoon trying to make blankets. And luckily though, the buffoon was successful. The only thing I did after you last saw it was finishing all those stitches, and then I ironed it to remove those ink marks. Camera, focus on the hands. Can you do so? There he goes. And the only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in the wash and dry it, and that's it. It is done blankets. I made a blankets. And my machine, right there, right at the end, it decided to, the needle decided to hit something, and now I have to service it yet again. So, servicing machine after one project. Welcome to Zootopia.